From the Fox Studios in downtown Panama City, it's News View with Lee Sullivan.
Let's talk about your endangered freedoms. News and views with an attitude. Good evening, it's News View. I'm Lee Sullivan. Thank you for allowing me, and I have Bay County businessman and political analyst Carey Scott with me. But first, welcome to Mr. Obama's neighborhood, boys and girls. Can we say hate, boys and girls? Can we say we hate people that are rich, boys and girls? But Mr. Obama's rich, isn't he? And of course he doesn't hate himself, does he, boys and girls? Of course he doesn't. As a matter of fact, Mr. Obama doesn't hate any Democrats that are rich. He only hates rich Republicans. Now you're doing better, boys and girls, because in Mr. Obama's neighborhood, he has told you you were doing better. So if you're not doing better, boys and girls, it's not his fault, it's your fault. And that's from Mr. Obama's neighborhood.
Excellent, excellent, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Are you going to get a sweater?
I might, yes.
Song?
I might,
Jeff,
I might,
Jeff
yes, I might be,
sing a song?
Mr. Obama's neighborhood.
Yeah, well, Mr. Obama was playing his, I like it, I like it a lot.
I need a little background music with my Mr. Obama's neighborhood stuff. Speaking about Mr. Obama's neighborhood, Mr. Obama seems to be especially enamored with Alex Sink.
Yes, well, of course, they really want the state of Florida badly. They want it for 2012.
She must be rich too.
I think she might be. Yeah, she was CEO or whatever for Bank of America here, and her husband, Mr. McBride, is I think a fairly wealthy trial lawyer.
Yeah,
and he ran unsuccessfully for governor last cycle.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. But he wants they want Florida to be a Democrat state. But I want Florida to be a conservative state. I think we have everything in the world at risk now. This election cycle and in 2 years from now.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Obama's up in Ohio talking about how he wants the federal government to be lean. Now I don't know what he means by that. Are we going on a
listen,
tofu diet? Are we gonna?
I try. The gag factor for me is really close when I start listening to that. But another epiphany that he shares broadly and wisely, of course, is that we're doing better, okay? And he's going to do away with tax cuts because it will impact rich Republicans, but if you're not rich, if you're just like 90, I forget how many of us it was going to benefit, it was going to hurt a few, but we'll get communist stuff, the good of the order and all the rest of that.
Sure.
And I wonder how we evolved, Carey, into respecting people that were successful and built a business and pulled themselves up and employed people, to the point now where from the presidential office throughout the political profile, we seem to demean those people.
Well, what Obama says doesn't make any sense. Number one, we're not doing better. The lowest the unemployment rate has been was the day he took office.
Right.
Okay? We've gone south from there. Secondly, with regard to the tax cuts, the $250,000 threshold he likes to talk about so much affects the majority of the people affected are small business owners who report is a subchapter S. And over 60% of Americans are employed by small business.
It's not what they're making, it's net and making, it's what they're making at the store, at the boutique or whatever that is. And that's what you get taxed on, not what meager pittance you get out of the gross.
That's correct. That's correct. I'm a small business guy. You're a small business guy. You have to have money for capital investment, to hire people. The whole labor situation, I would suggest, is in due large part not to, first of all, his progressive economic, i.e. socialist economic policies, but the uncertainty. What's coming next?
Right.
Are you going to go build something and hire a bunch of folks and not know what in the world's going to happen?
Well, are we just, and when we speak of economics, are we just going down with the ship? I mean, these people, their issue with Freddie and Fannie they're just not going to let, no matter how much it costs us, okay, they're going to save that. For what purpose?
that goes back even in 2001. Of course, you know, Mr. Obama likes to talk about President Bush a great deal, but in 2001, the Bush administration began to warn that Freddie and Fannie, being government-sponsored enterprises with the illusion of the United States government guarantees, were getting overwrought. We're overdoing it a bit. Came back in 2003 with a Senate bill, couldn't get any traction because of the Democrats. In 2005, filibuster, most notably supported by Barack Obama.
Right. Well, you know, so Sally Mae goes belly up.
Right.
Okay. So one of my sons finishing his college education finds himself short of funds, and he needs a student loan. And guess where the only place that he can get a student loan is now?
Northern Virginia.
No, Wells Fargo.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
A private lender. Okay, great.
Yeah, Wells Fargo. So I mean.
Do you have to write on the application like you were dad and stuff?
Yeah, and I had to send a quart of my blood in, and he had to produce. We both had to have our DNA checked so we could see that it matched. I mean, it was not a lot of paperwork, you know, but you know.
Laboratory report.
Yeah, you know, I told him, I said, Matthew, you are my son. J. Carey Scott. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's News View. I'm Lee Sullivan. I'm visiting with J. Carey Scott, local businessman and Fox News View political contributor. Clearly, how good can it get? So here we are, towards the wire. The November approaches. People continue to be concerned about the economy, no matter how much money they have thrown after that problem. There seems to be, no one seems to have the answer. It is almost unbelievable that they are proving that you can't borrow yourself out of debt.
You know, we have a short memory in this country. We don't remember Franklin Delano Roosevelt tried this in the 30s.
Right.
And I would mention his progressive policies as well.
Right.
No, it doesn't work. If throwing money at the problem worked, we wouldn't be in the greatest recession we've been in decades.
Right.
We wouldn't have 10% unemployment, would we?
No.
But yet the president keeps thinking, what was it yesterday, $50 billion?
Right. Light, camera, action. That was bad. That was real bad. I almost went under the desk. It's always good when the lights go out that they don't pop, because nothing good happens with me when they pop.
No, that's true. That's true.
You know, but I mean, you can't help but get a sense, whether it's who you talk to or even now looking at the polls, that the Obama faithful, especially the Obama news faithful, are almost forced to report some facts about.
Shocking.
Yeah, you know.
I know.
About how poorly it is and how poorly he is doing.
One of the barometers, even Letterman is making jokes about Obama,
Right.
Which a year ago was the sacred
verboten.
cow.
Oh yeah, verboten. No,
So,
no.
But no, it clearly doesn't work. I don't know how many times and how much more evidence people need. This is a pivotal time.
Right.
Do these policies work? No. Can we do better? Yes.
You know, J. Carey, I was talking on the show the other day, you know, we talk about the border, and of course, you know what I think. You round up the illegal immigrants, you put them in an internment camp, you know, brand them, tattoo them, I don't care what you do, ship them out. But then we go to this thing now where in the United States of America, in the state of Arizona, the Bureau of Land Management actually posts signs 80 miles from the border that you got to beware of drug smugglers and human smugglers. I mean, you know.
In the United States,
in the United
80
States,
miles north of the border, obviously.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. But of course, Arizona doesn't have a problem.
Kind of like don't feed the bears. And by the way, look for the M16 rounds.
Right. I mean, Arizona doesn't have a problem because when they tried to do something about it, the federal government sued them.
Yeah, and they're suing them now.
Right.
And it's essentially, we've talked about this before, word for word, their own statute, their own federal legislation. So, well, we just need to change.
Well, you know, yeah, we did.
Not the change,
we got some change. The other thing that I think a lot of people pay attention to, besides the unemployment and the economy, is the war. We have had another war that is over, and it was just another day. You know,
right?
God bless them. No parade, no
Absolutely,
congratulations,
God bless them all.
no well done. You know, just we're done here, and we continue to waste our young men and women's lives in Afghanistan, which is nothing but a series of mud huts and caves, which, in my opinion, I mean, it was bad enough in Vietnam, but I mean, you go over there, and it's even worse, I think. And those people have been killing each other since the beginning of time, J. Carey. What is it about us? What is it about us that we think we can change the course of history?
Well, on the one hand, that's what makes America the beacon of the world, and on the other hand, it does lead to some problems like that. And you know, the Afghans are going to fight. They've been, as you pointed out, they've been doing so. That's the cradle of that whole area. You know, that
the beginning,
Mesopotamia.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
The beginning.
So
the beginning. I mean, they've been whacking each other, and when they can't, and when I mean, if they don't have anybody outside to fight, they got their tribal crap coming on. They're even worse than the Irish.
You can't solve their problems for them because they don't have their own political solution. That's
they don't have a problem.
Karzai and those.
They don't have a problem. They're sending that slum bucket a bunch of money, and he's flying it out to Switzerland so he can make sure he's got his early retirement plan going on.
It's crazy. It is. We
You
need to
know.
rethink some of our policies. Even Secretary Clinton, however, said yesterday that she considered the national debt to be a threat to the security of the United States.
And so
That's not building up to 12.
So finally, she says what General Petraeus has said.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, what's the biggest threat to national security? Our debt, okay? And who has gotten us into debt? Da-da-da-da-da. President Bush started it, but he pales, if I may say that, in comparison to this administration.
Yeah, he didn't spend quite as much money. Obama has now spent more money, run up more deficits than the 41 presidents. Am I correct on that? Is he the 42nd president?
I don't know. He's way.
Though anyway, the previous 41 presidents have not run a deficit up cumulatively as much as our sitting president has, and I think it's a huge mistake.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is look around at the unemployment and all the rest of the stuff and see how successful it is, you know. BP has an investigation about the oil well, finds himself marginally at fault, but mostly everybody else. You know, they probably are saving a lot of money because they probably aren't having to, Department of the Interior is probably not getting nearly the amount of concubines and cocaine that they've been getting before. J. Carey Scott, we'll be right back. Welcome back. It's News View. I'm visiting with J. Carey Scott, local businessman and Fox News View political contributor. And during the break, we have ascertained by our immense staff that President Obama is the 44th president.
And I got it wrong. I said 42nd.
Right. Well,
about the deficits, but if we leave out Washington, Adams, and Jefferson, I'm still correct on the cumulative deficit.
You should run for office.
I'm thinking about it. I'm working on it right there. I could have gone to Cincinnati yesterday.
Do you think Harry the Ferry Reid is going to win?
The polls show him up slightly. In Nevada, you talking about Harry Reid?
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope not. He's just lucky because nobody lives there, but he's got like a